You guys did that Morbid Angel tour, right?
Yes.
What happened with that tornado?
Classic question. Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the most intense thing we've ever had to go through on tour, and we've been doing this for quite a while.
Yeah.
But like, we're from Brazil. We don't get tornadoes there.
Yeah.
And I think the last thing we thought we would ever go through would be a tornado hitting the venue we're playing. Like that is something we would never expect, you know. And actually, to be honest, on that day when we were there, no one actually believed that was gonna happen, because like I remember we got the tornado warning on our phones like 10 minutes before the tornado actually hit the venue. And I remember I was like,
It's not enough time.
yeah,
10 minutes?
Yeah, it was crazy.
What the hell?
And like I've always been, since I watched that movie Twister, I've always been so scared of tornadoes.
Same.
And then like when we got that tornado warning, we were like, okay. I remember asking the security guy at the venue. I was like, what are the odds this actually happens? He was like, no, we get tornadoes every time. We're gonna be all right. And then we went outside to grab our stuff. Luana almost didn't make it. She'll probably tell you about this. And then we were back inside, and everyone was like, go to the basement, go to the basement. And we thought it was like normal, regular procedure for this kind of situation. So we just went to the basement.
Yeah.
And in seconds, last thing I remember was like me and Luana hugging each other, and like lights were out, you know, like the dust coming from the ceiling. And I was like, man, I think this is really happening. There was like this big noise happening, and we started hearing like people screaming, and then we found out actually the roof collapsed on the fans 10 minutes after we played, 10 minutes after we got the tornado warning. And it was just horrible. At the time, we shared very little about this because we were really focused on, you know, like fundraising, because we lost our RV for the tornado. But there are really some gruesome details that although I think we coped really well with the whole situation, there are memories that just stick with you, you know, like for instance, like fans covered in blood getting to the basement, and like, you know, like the whole thing was a horrible thing. Like us thinking that we could have died. A fan died. That's the thing that
Someone did die there.
Yeah, like the you know, like coping with the trauma and like the anxiety about like getting on the stage after that was tough. But I think what the worst part for me was actually getting reminded all the time that a person lost their life in our set. Like when you're out there and playing, that's the last thing you expect is going to happen, that someone's is going to a show to have fun, and then he dies. They die, you know, like that was the thing. And I'm always, when I'm on stage, I'm always like making sure I look at everyone's faces. Like I like that, you know, like looking your fans in the eyes from the stage. And then I remember everyone who was there, and I was like, which of them is the one who died, you know, like, so I kept that thing on my mind. It was horrible. It was horrible.
Yeah, because Crypta already played, so like you imagine like you saw them and they were alive at one moment, and then the next,
Exactly.
no one knew.
Exactly, it was horrible.
Also, I think we coped better with the tornado than some of the people that were on tour, because we stayed in the basement. We didn't have much to do when the tornado hit and the roof fell on everyone, so we stayed in the basement. But many of the guys who could help went upstairs to help people, and they really saw things that we didn't see and experienced things we didn't. Like, they were trying to like walk through the parts that fell from the roof, the ceiling, and unfortunately, you know, found people weren't there, the pieces of the roof, and saw things that we didn't. So I think many of the guys from the crew maybe didn't cope as well, because they saw a lot of things that we didn't. Gladly we didn't, but
yeah, I remember still about the details and what other people on the tour saw. Like, I remember our tour manager at the time, he was the one who first saw that we had lost our RV, and he was doing merch also. And then the moment he was there, it was like he was like, yeah, we lost the RV, and we didn't even know like what to think. Like, what do you mean? It was like, yeah, we lost our RV, and then like there was this thing like everyone trying to helping the fans upstairs, and then I remember our tour manager saying like, I think I saw a guy and I think he was dead, and he was the only person who had bought we were first band out of 4, and this guy, Fred Livingston Jr., never forgetting his name, he was the only one who got to our merch booth before the show and actually bought a t-shirt. He was like, yeah, I want to buy a t-shirt before the show because I want to support the girls and everything. And then our tour manager said that when he was found, he still had the Crypta shirt there. So, like this is the kind of details that you just don't forget. It actually, it's so weird. Like I see, like you're playing clips of the interviews and everything. It is the first time I ever see this. Yeah. It feels weird to me to be looking at it. I was like,
it feels unreal that that thing there, that normal show there became like the disaster that you find pictures of later in like about 10 minutes. That fucking regular show, it went down to like whatever thing we saw from the disaster. So it's like, quite a change of scenarios really quick, let's just say.
Yeah, and it's, at least for me, but I think it applies to everyone who was there, it still feels surreal that we've been through something like that. I look at it, at those clips and everything, and I feel like some sort of distance, because it feels like I can't believe we survived it, because it was horrible. I can't believe like this was exactly, we're seeing this, like the ceiling, and it feels surreal. Like it's still hard to believe we went through that and we survived that. And what helps me cope and understand that we actually went through this is sometimes talking to fans who were there and survived. Mm-hmm. There's this fan, Michelle, and she's good friends with me nowadays, and she was there, and she survived the disaster, but she broke her spine, she broke 10 ribs, she broke both arms, both legs. Her lower back literally exploded, and she's alive. And like seeing her, like thriving, going to her shows and everything, that's makes me remember like, wow, that was real. She was there too. So we actually lived this. So yeah, there's all these crazy details. Like I remember it's like we were supposed to play a show after this show. Mm-hmm. And of course it was postponed because our instruments were all inside because the building was condemned. So we weren't able to, we actually had, you remember that, Lou? We actually had our show clothes on like for the next day. So it was cold, it was snowy the other day, and we still had, like I still had like my Lycra clothes,
I remember a buddy from Scalar Remains actually, he felt sorry because we were like wearing like tank tops and whatever, and like gave like a long sleeve and like a pair of his socks, and like tried to help with whatever clothes he had in his backpack because we didn't have anything for the night. So
I remember I went to Walmart the next day with basically stage clothes. I wanted to buy shoes and like sweatpants and hoodies for me, for Luana, for the girls. And then I went to Walmart and everyone was talking about that. And I was there and I was like, damn, they actually talking about what we've been through. They're talking about, there was this band playing right after the band played, and I was like, it was my band that played. It's surreal. And like we were supposed to play a show right after that, and it got postponed. This happened on a Saturday, I think. The show was supposed to be on a Sunday. It got postponed to a Wednesday, and whoever had tickets, it was in Illinois, in the Chicago area, and whoever had tickets for that show could join this postponed show. So the result is there were many fans who actually were there at the disaster on this new show that was postponed, and most of them were like had like casts or like they had bruises and they were there. Whoa. So it was intense. And there was this guy who was like, hey, I just want to let you know that you guys saved my life. And we were still feeling bad that like people were there to watch us and had to go through this. And he was like, yeah, because like back then I would always say like, so yeah, we'll be hanging out by the merch table after the show, so see you there, you know, like go support us or whatever. And then the guy said, like, the moment I said that, he went to the merch table. And that, because I said that, and that if he wasn't by the merch table, then the roof would have collapsed, like, on him. So it's insane. Now, it's the first time I'm seeing, like, pictures of the tornado. It was a big one.
I mean, look at that thing.
It was a big one.
That's a fucking tornado,
We
dude.
always thought it was a small one. Look at the size of that one.
Well, that explains a lot.
That explains a lot. We were talking one of these days about this.
So,
we were like, I
it's a
wonder.
Ring video. Wow.
Yeah, we were like, I wonder what was the size of the tornado, because we didn't see it, of course. So now
Oh, that's a tornado right there. Oh my, that's straight from Twister.
That's straight from Twister. That was my reference, and my reference happened.
That's a scene from Twister.
Wow, I'm actually shocked. We had never seen.
Really?
Yeah, videos of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would imagine it being like traumatic. Like you're not going to exactly do the research on what happened. You know, you don't. I don't want to see pictures of a fucking tornado ever again.
I think we were so focused on like, okay, we got
finding a new RV, probably.
Yes,
and clothes, new RV, like everything that stayed inside. Also, like the minor things that no one will think about, like, you know, checking if we got all our documents, checking if we didn't forget anything
passports
really important. Yeah, we luckily got it because a friend of ours from revocation was like, you know, everyone, like Fernando mentioned, like we didn't think that it would be so bad, but he was just like, just in case, get your important items from the RV. And that's why we got the passports and all our money and the electronics and the things we bought. Like the day before, we bought a bunch of new like phones and shit. And gladly, because the guy was like, you know, just go there and take the important stuff. That's why we got the documents and all. Otherwise, we would be like twice as fucked because we wouldn't have any identification.
Yeah. And the RV was pretty much smashed completely.
Did the what you told the company? Did they understand, or did they not care?
No, they didn't care.
Oh no!
Thing is, there's a whole different story because they were like, our tour manager talked to the company and they were like, yeah, we'll give you a new RV so you can move on, but you'll have to pay for the old one, and it's gonna be around $60,000. And that's the information I went to bed with on that day. It was like there was a tornado and everything. Terrible news about the fan, but I was like, $60,000 is a lot in our currency.
It's a lot.
You can
any
buy
currency.
a house. You can buy a house. So I was like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Then we did the fundraiser, and gladly we got the $60,000 in 24 hours. Thank you to the amazing
Holy
metal
crap.
community who stood together with us. And but then like we had the new RV. By the end of the tour, we were there to return the RV, and they were like, so now we had said it was $60,000, but actually the whole account with the new RV and everything else, it's going to be $101,000. And we were like, what? This is our RV.
That's your RV?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny.
I didn't see that picture.
Yeah. That's the RV.
Because we know where everything is. Yeah. I'm just seeing like a pink thing on top of the RV, and I'm like, oh, that's my stuff.
That's Luana's blanket.
Oh, that's my, yeah. Oh,
because that's where Luana used to sleep.
Yeah.
Like above the driver's seat.
You were there, you'd be dead.
Yeah. I mean, like she said,
that's so bizarre.
I almost didn't make it because I was the last one to leave with my backpack from the RV. And like I said, everyone was relaxed about it. Everyone was just like, it's okay. Just go to the basement and it's going to be fine. So I was like, I got my stuff as fast as possible, but I was the last to leave. And I remember when I got to the door, which was like just like maybe 2 meters away from the RV, when I got to the door, the wind was so strong that I was like, okay, if I stay here for like an extra 5 seconds, I'm not going to be able to stand outside anymore. I'm going to be taken by the wind. And then the guy from the tour manager from Morbid Angel just like pulled me in and closed the door, like with some effort, because it was really hard to pull the door. Yeah. And then the thing happened. Shit. But like if I had stayed, like if I had maybe like thought twice about an item, like should I take this, whatever, I would be gone.
Like
it was horrible. And then like we only had the 60K. I mean, only. It was a lot of money. We had the 60K to pay, like for the RV, but they said it was $101,000. And
tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, and then they were like, but we'll give you a 20K discount, so it's $81,000. So out of a sudden, we had a $21,000 debt. So what happened is literally all the profit of the tour, all the money that we had used to pay for our flight tickets and visas, which was really expensive, that was supposed to come back to the band's finances. We needed to invest in that. So we literally took a full year to recover financially from that because, we needed all the money we had went for that extra 21K. It was horrible.
Sorry, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
It's crazy how what you'll go through, and even when like there's setbacks, like you'll just keep something just keeps you there and keeps you going.
Yeah.
You know?
I think for us, like we're a Brazilian band. We all know how it's tough being Latin American. Like we struggle so much. Like for a Brazilian band to succeed and actually have the chance to be out there, we're really privileged. We know that because it's tough. So to me, honestly, I keep going on because I have no other option. Like this is This is what I love doing. I live for this band. We live for this band. We only us know like the amount of effort we've put in this band. So honestly, there's no other option. We'll keep going, man.
Crypta is our baby. No twister is gonna stop us from moving forward with the baby.
Yeah, we will. As long as it makes sense for us, and I'm pretty sure we still have a long time together on this journey. We'll keep on going because like. Yeah, that's our dream. Nothing's gonna take it from us.
Yeah, this is your dream. Yeah. Nothing can stop it. Yeah. And this is a pretty extreme example. Yeah. You don't like imagine like I might die doing this. Sometimes you're like driving and sometimes like the driver's not exactly smooth and it's like 4 a.m. You're like hitting like the rumble strips. You're like, are we getting off the road right now? Holy shit. You just don't, it's things you don't think about when you're just trying to rip and riff.
Yeah, exactly. You kind of not expect, but you see so many bands getting like car accidents or like with their vans. Yeah. Bands getting robbed. I mean, we've been... like we had our stuff taken a couple of times.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
Been there, with our previous band Nervosa, who was actually here in the podcast. Yeah. So we got robbed twice with Nervosa. So you kind of expect this kind of things because you see happening with other bands, like van accidents, flat tires, merch getting robbed, like you kind of expect that, but a tornado, I have never seen any other band going through this, so it was not on our let's maybe prepare for this kind of stuff. How do you prepare for like such a natural disaster? You can't. So
you can't, and they were kind of acting like this is like a normal thing, like a tornado warning. They're acting like it was just normal.
Not for us Brazilians. We were like, the moment we saw this, I was paralyzed. We were like, what is that? What do we do? We didn't know what to do.
Thing is also funny, during the show, I'm the only one using my phone during the show because I have to release the tracks like intro, outro, and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was getting the warning on top of the intros and the outros, and of course I didn't read anything. I was just like, what the fuck am I getting? Like, what, ads on top of my intros and outros? What is my phone doing? I never get ads on top of, like, randomly. I'm not even using the internet. And I was just like, just closing it and keep on going. But and later
that
on,
was the thing.
And later on, I figured that was a tornado warning that I was constantly ignoring to read because I had to release the intros, which is so dumb. I mean, you should have probably paid attention if my phone was on flight mode and I was getting ads.
Did you leave your phone on the stage or did you take it with you?
So we had a little bit of time after the show to like take some stuff out of the stage and go to the RV. So we took good part from the stage. Like I remember the next day when we had to go back there and the firefighters let us go in to like retrieve our stuff. Most of our stuff were like beside the stage Of course, all covered in dust and you could
Snow.
Yeah,
Everything.
it was hard to see them, but they were there beside the stage. So we retrieved everything from like instrument wise, covered in mud, but.
But the interesting thing is that Lou said we had time, but I calculated it was 9 minutes. It felt like an eternity, right?
Yeah.
To me, it was like 30 minutes because, again, no one believed it was going to happen. So everyone was like, our tour manager said that he saw the moment that the crowd, everyone had the tornado warning. He said everyone did like this, check their phones, put it in the pocket, and kept hanging out because they were like, it happens. And no one really thought, but it was 9 minutes till the moment we got the tornado warning and left the stage till the tornado hitting. It was 9 minutes, which is insane. It's
good to know we're fast during changeovers.
Yeah. Yeah.
If anything, the only positive aspect of all of it is we're fast at changeovers apparently.
Yeah,
Because in
apparently.
9 minutes, everything was off the stage. Just saying.